Today we're gonna do a completely full load in the medium freeze dryer. This should be somewhere between 80 and 90 eggs if I did my math right. Once those are done, we're gonna go ahead and cook a meal with them here in a couple days and kind of see how they taste compared to fresh eggs. Even though that we are freeze drying these eggs, that doesn't mean that these are gonna be completely safe. You still need to treat these like you would just a normal raw egg. You still have the risk of salmonella and different bacteria, things like that. So if you do kind of make a mess in your freeze dryer as you're doing this, you wanna make sure that when you're done, you clean that freeze dryer out. Another thing is I wouldn't recommend doing raw eggs with anything else. Let's say like fruits, vegetables, anything like that you're gonna eat. Just if you're gonna do eggs, go ahead and just do a full load of eggs in your freeze dryer. Don't try to mix it up with a bunch of different things. With a medium freeze dryer tray, you should be able to fit somewhere between 12 and 18 eggs, depending on the size of your eggs. I have, I think 12 or 13 in here right now. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, which is gonna be salt. For this many eggs here, I'm gonna wanna do about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half of salt. And this is gonna do a couple things for us. The salt is gonna help break down the proteins, kind of help get everything mixed up and as smooth as possible. What a smooth consistency is gonna do for us in the long run, once we go to rehydrate these eggs, you won't have the grittiness, you won't have clumpiness, you won't have as many issues there. So there's two different times that we really wanna make sure that we get this smooth, and that is right now when we're getting ready to blend it up, and then once we kind of turn it into powder later and blend it up again, we also wanna make sure we get it into as fine of a powder as we possibly can, and that's just gonna help us have a smoother egg at the very end when we go to rehydrate it. Don't have to worry about that grittiness or that clumpiness. All right, so that was about 20 seconds we gave it there, and it honestly didn't expand too much. I'm gonna go ahead and start filling some of these trays up. I'm gonna be filling them in the freeze dryer, so I will bring you back when we're filling up that last one. I'll show you how we fill it, kind of talk to you about what the process is gonna look like from there. Remember that time when I said that 20 seconds is good? I'm running into an issue, and I figured I'd stop and talk to you about it. The issue I'm running into is 20 seconds is making it a little bit too fluffy, so when I go to put it in the trays, it's mostly just foam, and I'm not able to put a whole lot of eggs in it. So with this one, I'm gonna try it a little bit differently. I'm gonna hit it for just a little bit less time. I'm not gonna go quite the full 20 seconds there. I'm gonna maybe hit it for just a few, kind of get it blended up and see what it looks like, kind of see what the consistency is, and see if it's gonna be a better route to go less time. I think that's gonna work out a lot better. So this is still blended, completely blended, but it didn't turn into a foam. What I've been doing with the trays is I take some parchment paper, and I just got this parchment paper on Amazon, and it fits these perfectly. I'll put a link down in the description below. And then I slide it into the machine and fill it up there. I don't have my lights in here today, so it's a bit dark, but this is how I've been doing it. You kind of slide the tray out just like this and start pouring it in, and I kind of tilt it up to get it to go to the back first. Make sure that the whole thing gets filled up. At this point, I can kind of get my head down here, pour this in, and make sure I'm not gonna overflow as I'm pouring this in. You can definitely fit a lot more if you just pulse your blender rather than do it for 20 seconds like I did originally. So just pulse it a few times, get it blended up well, and then go ahead and put it in. Another thing you can do is put it in your trays, put it in the freezer, and then once it's in the freezer, let it sit there for a couple days, let it get completely frozen solid, and then put it in your freeze dryer. This is gonna save some time and energy in your freeze dryer, so that way it doesn't have to bring it down to freezing and kind of get everything frozen initially. So that's gonna save you quite a bit of time there. If you're enjoying this video so far, do me a huge favor, go down, hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. And if you are in the market for a freeze dryer, we do have an affiliate link down in the description below. This doesn't cost you any extra money, but it does really help us out and kind of keep these videos going. All right, sit tight, we'll be back in a couple days as soon as these eggs are done. All right, we are back, our eggs are done. It's been roughly 48 hours since we last filmed, but these were done in about 30 hours, 36 hours, and then I just added some extra dry time so that way I could kind of push it out until I could film. The first thing I'm noticing is the color on some of these trays. So these two trays over here are the ones that I just kind of pulsed, and then these are the ones that I did for 20 seconds. Let's see if I can show you the difference here. I'm not sure if this camera's gonna pick it up very well, but there's definitely a color difference. These ones are more yellow, and these ones are kind of almost white, and you can tell there's a lot more air in them. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hurry up and we're gonna hit these with the food processor, and we're gonna turn it into a powder, and then after that, we'll go ahead and start cooking dinner. Another thing to think about at this point is even though these were freeze dried, they are still raw. So you need to treat these like they're raw eggs. So I'm touching them with my hands here, so I know that when I'm done, I need to make sure that I'm washing my hands. Oh yeah. These are actually grinding up much better than I thought they would. There's no moisture in there whatsoever. They're completely dry, and I wish I could explain what the texture is. It's such a weird texture. So I found that if you kind of pulse it and then shake it, put it back on, it works a lot faster. A mixture of insulation and cotton candy. That's the best way I can describe the texture of it when it just comes out before you powder it up. This actually made quite a bit more powdered egg than I thought. And when I was at the store yesterday, I looked at how much freeze-dried just powdered egg costs. They sell it in kind of like these coffee can style things. And for 72 freeze-dried powdered eggs, it was about $65. Yeah, $65. It was $65. All we paid was the feed to feed the chickens, and then we probably paid about $2 or $3 in electricity for the freeze dryer. So this is a much, much cheaper way to go, and these eggs are gonna last us a very long time. So I don't know why eggs are so expensive freeze dried, but they are, so this is definitely a good way to save some money. I already filled a bowl for dinner tonight, and now definitely gonna be making a mess here, but that's okay. I don't know how much is gonna fit in here, but we're gonna go ahead and just start putting, this is a 1 cup measuring cup. I think we'll be able to do, let's do 3 cups. When you buy one of these freeze dryers, they come with these Mylar bags. They also come with oxygen absorbers and a sealer over there. So all of this that I'm using right now came with the machine. I'm not using anything that didn't come with it. And when you close these off, try to get as much air as you can out. You don't have to, but it's something that's just gonna kind of help with the longevity of it. And I'm going to double seal it just to be safe. Let's see how good I can do this. It's not gonna work like I hoped it would. All right, so for the medium Harvest Right freeze dryer, we were able to fill 2 of these bigger Mylar bags up. And then I also have probably about 2 cups in this right here. So that way I can make dinner tonight. We've got a lot of kids. So when we make eggs, we make eggs. All right, I'm gonna get this stuff put away. I'm gonna start cooking some of these other things. And then when I get to the eggs, I'll bring you back. We'll add some water into this. We'll get it all mixed up, start cooking with it, and kind of see what it's gonna taste like compared to a normal egg. The second I turned this camera off last time, it hit the fan around here. I've officially cooked 6 omelets with these eggs. We had to hurry up and get dinner done to get kids to football and in bed and different things. And my plan was to film the first one I cooked, and that didn't work out. But I will say that the kids loved these eggs. They couldn't tell the difference between these eggs and just normal fresh eggs.
It tastes like eggs and sausage.
It's like normal eggs?
Yeah.
What's it taste like?
Eggs and sausage.
Eggs and sausage, okay. And to me, they cook a little bit easier than a fresh egg. Let me go ahead and get started, and I'll explain. Okay, so they say that 2 tablespoons of your egg powder and 2 tablespoons of water is going to equal roughly 1 egg. I didn't really like the 1-to-1 ratio on that. I felt like it was too liquidy for what I was using it for. It was just too liquidy. So what I've been doing is I've just been kind of eyeballing it. So I've been taking about 3 scoops of my egg powder here, roughly. I mean, I'm not measuring it out great by any means. Add a little bit more there. And then I'm just adding enough water until I feel like it's right. So I add a little bit. Let's go ahead and mix it up. Definitely gonna need some more water here. Add a little bit of water. There we go. At first it's gonna look really runny, and then as that egg starts to kind of rehydrate, it's gonna start thickening up. Another thing I do is I add just the tiniest little bit of milk, and this is something, I don't know, my mom did it. I've always done it since I was a little kid. Just add a little bit of milk in there, mix that in there as well. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning. We did add salt into this when we were originally freeze drying it, but I like to add some of this Killer Hogs AP seasoning. We just get this at Walmart.
We were playing around, then his finger went straight for my eyes, then it poked my eye.
Yeah.
I didn't do it on purpose, I did it on accident.
So you guys were playing, having a good time, yeah? All right.
Can you bring my blanket in the living room?
Yeah, you can bring a blanket in the living room. Go on, buddy. Dad life. All right, so Killer Hogs AP seasoning. I just get this from Walmart. This is awesome stuff. It's just salt, pepper, garlic. This is really good stuff. I'm not gonna add too much because, like I said, we already added salt when we very first started getting ready to freeze dry this. I'm just gonna mix that in there real quick. And this is looking like it's ready to go. So let's move over to the stove and let's get this omelet going real quick. I don't even feel bad that this stove is a complete disaster right now because I cooked for 6 kids. So it's okay that it's a mess. Let's go ahead and get this omelet going. So I'm just gonna throw that in there, make sure all my egg is in there. I'm not gonna show you the entire omelet because you've probably seen an omelet made a whole bunch of times. So I just wanted to show you this part. So when I do my omelets, I kind of slide it and then, kind of bring it over. And this whole thing, it just kind of holds itself together really well. And then there's just one more part I want to show you. And it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of the best part about these eggs so far as cooking with them. Just want to throw a little bit of this ground sausage in there. And then right here, so normally with like a fresh egg, this part is going to be breaking all up. And it's kind of hard to flip over. But with these powdered, freeze-dried eggs, it's all staying together, and I can just flip it. Oh, there we go. Flip it right over. Nothing breaks. It holds everything together. It's a dang good looking omelet, but for the 7th one today, it probably should look pretty good. I'm gonna throw a little bit of salsa on here. This year, I have a friend from work, and their peppers didn't work out this year. They had a really bad hailstorm that just kind of took out their whole garden. So I was able to trade him some peppers for some salsa. Tyler, if you're watching, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. If this were a blind test and I had no idea if it was freeze-dried eggs or fresh eggs in front of me, I don't think I'd be able to taste the difference. That literally it tastes exactly like it would with fresh eggs. If you want to see us freeze-dry other things, anything else whatsoever, let me know down in the comments what you want to see freeze-dried, what you want to see rehydrated, what kind of meals you want to see, different things like that. We're kind of experimenting with this freeze-dry. It never stops running. There's a whole batch of salsa in there right now, so it does not stop running ever. Let me know what you want to see videos about, and I will make those videos. In the meantime, go watch this video right here. This video is going to show you how to set up your freeze dryer, how to get your bread run done, how to get everything set up, ready to go out of the box. It's a good video, so go watch that video and I'll see you there.